moving into another culture is really tricky. It's difficult, and it feels so heavy and so intense at times.
We were on the mission field for 10 years in Brazil, working in the Amazon, and it was an absolutely fantastic time spiritually. We did a lot of evangelism, did lots of discipleship, but at the same time, there were the most difficult things in my life that happened there.
When my husband and I were on the field, I literally remember one day looking at him and saying, you've got to have my back and I'll have yours, but nobody else is looking out for us. Nobody else cares.
Missionaries are subject to a great many challenges and often don't allow themselves the time to rest, to reflect, to recover.
It can be painful, and it can be hard, and it can be devastating and lead to bitterness. It can lead to despair. It can make people leave the field.
So we want to provide the opportunity for them to process those feelings that might not be well understood by others who have not experienced that.
Barnabas International is dedicated to go out into the world and help missionaries on the field stay healthy, get healthy, and continue to do God's work.
Barnabas is able to come in and just be with pastors and missionaries and offer them a chance to be the person who receives something.
We have a variety of specialties among us. There's clinical psychologists and counselors and people that are trained in spiritual formation and different things. But I think we all unite under the banner of pastors to missionaries.
I don't want anyone else to ever feel as alone as we did.
Oftentimes, in the midst of their difficult situation, they've taken their eyes off the Lord because they're so enveloped in where they are. So for me, I love to point them back to Jesus.
I think God wants us to do things with Him instead of for Him.
An interlude retreat is a chance for people who have been on the field to come and process their story in a safe environment.
People come off the field for various reasons. Sometimes it's for a furlough, or they're coming off the field for good, or they've been kicked out of a country, or COVID happens.
They can process what they're going through. They have a chance to hear God. They have a chance to encounter God themselves in a very personal and deep way that can lead to healing and even direct them for their next path.
People just have the freedom to just share their story, to hear other people's stories. Like that's what we hear over and over again from the participants is, man, I don't feel alone in hearing someone else's story. Many of them have never done that before.
Someone mentioned to us that they couldn't believe that they hadn't been offered anything like this in 23 years of service. God
works through everyone who's here. I think as they process what we talk about with one another, I think a lot of lights go on and a lot of healing is done listening to other people's stories.
A couple that started Interlude, they have always said, and they have said to us, we'll keep doing Interlude as long as God shows up. And we see Him show up.
So for me, success is when God shows up. So we call ourselves facilitators. We don't teach or do anything like that. We don't do counseling. We create the space and hopefully set the stage for God to show up and do the work that's needed internally with the people. And we know that's where the real work is going to take place. So success is when God shows up.